Welcome to ROVING carp fishing. I'm back down my mid-Kent waters. I'm doing something a bit different this time. I'm only going to do the day session. I'm going to be moving around to try and catch a carp. So hopefully I do. So let's go. Well, I'm back fishing on the mid-Kent waters. It has been a little while. I've actually been fishing my syndicate and I've done a long session which was amazing. I've decided to come back and do a day session instead of doing a night. One, it was absolutely raining yesterday and I didn't really want to set up in the rain at all, and I thought, oh, I'll come down for the day, move around, fishing swims I've never fished before, and try and locate carp as much as I can. I come to the swim round the corner. It's quite weedy and it was really difficult to get along here, but this is a pretty good swim. I don't think many people fish it. Yeah, and I've decided to cast both my rigs right to the island. I felt quite firm as well, so pretty good spots actually. Unless I see anything else either milling around in this weed that's near me, or maybe milling in close, or if I see something jump or something, I might change where I'm fishing. But for now I just thought put two on the island, so hopefully something happens and I do catch something. Let's see. I've decided to fish with Ronnie rigs with 12mm yellow pop-ups. I've got them on a lead clip setup with tubing, and I'm basically just casting them wherever I think the fish are, and hopefully I'll catch a carp. I'm fishing with a pop-up so it sits above any rubbish that's on the bottom, more presentable and more easier to just try and nip a bite. The baits I'm putting over the top are 15mm cool candy, and I've decided just to scatter a few over each rod and not go crazy and try and nip a bite. If I find any marginal spots or anything, I might chop them up, and I might actually put some pellets in as well. But for now, I'm just going to be putting out a few boilies over each hook bait and see what happens. I'm going to be changing swims, changing tactics all day. So I thought, beginning, start on the bottom, yellow pop up, over a couple of boilies, see if anything happens. So hopefully it does. I've been looking around to see if I can see anything, and I was kind of also thinking about how long I was going to stay for in this swim. I was thinking about another half an hour maybe, but I think I might give it another hour because I've seen a carp jump. It has jumped to my left, but the other thing is it's just behind a tree and there's tons of weed there, so I'll never be able to get a rig down. I'd have to clear all the weed out, and by the time I do that, the carp's gone. So the margin to my right is actually clear. It's got nothing in front of it. There's a little bit of weed just behind it, but there's nothing in front of where the hanging tree is to my right actually. So I thought about putting some bait in there. I've just put a couple of handfuls of like mid-sized pellets, and I put a few boilies in there. and I'm probably going to bring one of the rods in a little bit and drop it in there for a little while and see what happens really. Like I said, I've literally just seen a carp jump on the margins to my left, so if it comes out of that weed it may continue down the margins and maybe I'll get a bite on the right hand side. Just before I was going to put some bait in, I did notice a little movement under the water and then a load of bubbles come up. So it might be weed, it also might be a carp, you never know. Probably going to stay here for another hour and then I'm going to move over to the other lake. It's a little bit harder, that lake. It's got less carp in it, but it has got some really big carp in it as well. So if I do find one, then it'll be worth it. Hopefully something happens and hopefully I do catch. If I don't, I'll move and try and make an opportunity somewhere else. Well, I've moved to the other lake and the weed has gone absolutely crazy in here. A couple of weeks ago when I was down, it did look a little bit weedy, but it's supersonic weed in here. It's got absolutely crazy. It's everywhere. It's weed on the bottom, grassy weed on the bottom, and then you've got all this weed on the surface as well, which is not making it easy. Normally if I'm going to fish a weedy area, I normally want to do a night because I'm probably going to make a lot of disturbance, like clearing a spot and stuff like that, or looking for a spot. Yeah, so I didn't know what to do, but I've set up in a swim that I can look over the lake quite a bit, and I've already seen a couple of carp as well. I've seen one in the real thick weed, I've seen one literally to my left, sort of like in between where these trees are and sort of where the really thick weed is. It's sort of in the middle, milling around, and I've seen one to my right as well, which is really good, but it's so thick in there to my right I can't even get a rig in there at all. When I got into the swim I did see a clear spot underneath this tree to my left. It is shallow, but it's clear. So I thought straight away I'm going to put a rig there. So I put a few bits of bait in there. I have had a coot dive on me, but it seems to have got away since then. The other rod I didn't know what to do until I saw a carp milling around in the middle. What I've done is I've tied up a really long hinge stiff rig, and I've gone for the lightest lead I've got as well. And I've the same pop up, but I've put it where the sort of between, there's weed and then there's little gaps in the weed, but I don't know exactly where it's landed because I didn't want to do too many casts, but I wanted a hook bait that was going to be centered right on top of that weed, which is a hinge stiff rig, is much better for that than a Ronnie rig, just because I think it's going to be a higher pop up and it's going to stand up a little bit. And I have still seen the carp milling around down there as well. I've also seen another one further on in the weed, so it's looking promising in this swim. I've seen at least 3 carp already in here, so you never know, I might get something in the last sort of couple of hours of my session. I'm going to look around for opportunities, and if I see any carp shining on the other side of the lake or any other swim I might move, but at the moment I'm planning on just staying here and seeing what happens really. So hopefully I do catch something. Well, it looks like I'm not going to get anything today. I've tried really hard. I've fished 2 different lakes. I've seen plenty of carp, but they're mostly in the weed, not really doing anything. They don't seem to be on the feed at the moment. I've tried. What can you do? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.